The Bitcoin ETF buying frenzy is on. They're sucking up the supply like Michael Saylor has Mega Made, which I'm sure you saw on my other show. But meanwhile, prediction markets are an absolute complete disaster and a mess, being gamed by inside traders. And a few people are actually starting to sort of maybe kind of get in trouble. We're going to talk about all of that today as I Friday freestyle and completely come unprepared to talk to you guys. Let's go.
Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to scenic New York City in a slight hue of purple, which looks very natural and organic. I hope that you have had a wonderful week, because I know I have. This has been a hectic week for us, obviously launching the new show on Yahoo, The Daily Wolf. If you haven't been watching, you can watch it live on Yahoo Finance every day at noon, but we also have it on my YouTube in a playlist right there on the front page, about 45 minutes to an hour after each show. And I can tell you guys aren't watching it there. I thought we were cool. So no, you should go watch it in either of those places. That show is a lot more like this show, where I just show up and say stuff. Yesterday, this thing passed through my mind while I was doing the show that I probably shouldn't have said. There was a story about France pushing for euro-pegged stablecoins, and I said on national TV that nobody likes to get pegged to more than a euro. I don't know if that's smart, but I said it and I own it, and I didn't get in trouble for it yet. But you guys should watch The Daily Wolf. We've had a great time creating it. It's been extremely popular over there. I'm not allowed to talk about numbers, but let's just say that watch out, other networks coming for you. Anyways, as we have in the topic here, Bitcoin ETF buying frenzy continues while prediction. Oh, wait, I want to do this thing. I forgot I can do this thing. It's going to be sized wrong. Damn it. Look. Now if I make that and we do this. Oh, yes. Great. Good morning from Switzerland. My friend Andre here at Bitwise. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs have purchased 18,991 Bitcoin over the past 5 trading days. Checks numbers. It's 9 times new supply in that period. He said period. Institutional demand for Bitcoin is clearly accelerating. So we're on a pretty historic win streak here. If you take a look, BlackRock drives 7-day Bitcoin ETF inflow streak as Bitcoin nears $80,000. So this is the best streak we've had since check notes last month. I love it. We get these articles and you read them and you're like, biggest streak since March 29th and a half. It was like 5 days ago. It was like a month. But either way, there is exceptional buying demand. The numbers have been pretty astounding. Last week, I think the week before, the story was that there was $1 billion in inflows. It was the 3rd biggest week, I believe, ever. IBIT obviously sucking up the bulk of those. I'm going to go through my pictures while we're talking and find my Mega Made picture that I made. It's really good. I can't find it. If you guys have been watching all the Spaceballs references that I've been making. But yeah, so we've obviously got massive inflows there. When you add that to STRC, we effectively have like a $2 to $3 billion demand floor every week, seemingly, of buying of ETFs and institutional products. I mean, it's pretty astounding when you look at the numbers. It makes a lot of sense that price is up where it is. But even with price here, you would have thought that it would have sent it much higher. And have been down days in this period, and you would think that that would coordinate with ETF selling, as it usually does, but they're just buying. I feel like Bitcoin wants to go up, man, honestly. Take a look at all the evidence that we have, right? I mean, Bitcoin basically trading, literally, I'm at the point where I was saying I'm so busy that I forget to check the Bitcoin price. I have not looked at Bitcoin price today. $78,441. I've been up for 5 hours. This is the first time I've looked at Bitcoin price. That's a good price, right? So what we can provably say, regardless of our squiggles on the lines, with our squiggly lines on the charts, which we know are important, right? Bitcoin 74 to 76,000 area was key resistance, factually, right? So if you like charts, you know that we've kind of broken above that and held for now. But as I told you last week, we've also had historic whale selling, low supply on exchanges. It's basically historic, lowest since 2017. And we still have negative funding on perps as of yesterday. Never in history have we seen perps stay this negative while price continues to climb and those people not close their positions or get liquidated. So what we have is, even with it breaking a key level, usually you break the key level, you have that technical short squeeze, right? You can explain it and see it every time, and then perps go positive. They've still been negative. This is like, provably, if you take a look at the funding rates, this is the most hated rally or most like disbelief we've seen in a rally that I can ever remember. People are just still piling on shorts, even though resistance is broken, which means that there's more fuel for upside. So I would be pretty surprised if we don't push up to, the low 80s at least. I mean, 80,000 is a rounding error from here anyways. But if we get 82, 84, 86, I think is a very, very easy move from here and not even that meaningful. Remember, we can still be in a bear market with price at $96,000 because we will not even have made a higher high. But this guy buys a lot of Bitcoin. I'm going to show him to you. You might recognize it. Like, Michael Saylor is just trolling everyone. Look at this picture. Is this Game of Thrones, or is it what was that movie? The Revenant? Revenant. The Revenant. Where like Leonardo DiCaprio goes into the woods and comes out way more beat up than this. Sailor obviously is like, winter wasn't that bad, but here I am on my horse and it's spring. I agree with him. I think that winter is over. I think the bottom is in, and you can call me crazy, but I am pretty much on record as saying the bottom was in when the bottom was likely in. Like, I definitely bought the hell out of 60,000. I said, yeah, that's probably it. We're probably going to kind of chop sideways for a very long time and maybe head up. I know nothing more than anyone else. I will say one thing that's concerning me is that Ben Cowan, who's been like provably right and very consistent the whole time, is getting the worst abuse and beating I've seen in a long time on X, simply because Bitcoin went up a couple extra $1,000, and that's usually a sign of massive euphoria. But moving on, there's one video I want to show you guys too, just because we never talked about it on this show. I did talk about it on my other show yesterday, but never watched the video. Did you guys see the video yet of the Admiral? The Admiral talking about Bitcoin and running a node? Because we're going to watch this real quick and just talk about this before we move on from Bitcoin.
You testified that Bitcoin held potential as a tool for national security. In this era of digital competition, would it be to our strategic advantage to maintain a lead in this regard, as we do with other strategic resources like gold and oil?
Sir, our interest in Bitcoin is as a tool of cryptography, a blockchain, and reusable proof of work as an additional tool to secure networks and to project power. We have a node on the Bitcoin network right now. We're not mining Bitcoin. We're using it to monitor, and we're doing a number of operational tests to secure and protect networks using the Bitcoin protocol.
Bro, he didn't read that good, or he's nervous. But did I just hear a 4-star admiral say that checks notes the United States military is running a Bitcoin node? And we've heard, obviously, about all the strategic reasons to own Bitcoin, right? The strategic Bitcoin reserve. We got to own more than China. It's a, finite asset, and we got to own the most of it, like having a reserve of gold in Fort Knox. But never before did I hear the government say the quiet part out loud, that Bitcoin is actually a tool of national security and power. Now, you've probably all read Jason Lowery's software if you're a Bitcoiner, and he has long since talked about the idea that this should be viewed in this manner. But now you have an admiral saying, hey, we're casually running a node, checking things out, monitoring the situation. Isn't that what the kids say now? It's like a meme, monitoring the situation. That's a thing. So obviously you all know, because you probably run nodes yourself, that doesn't mean they're mining. That doesn't mean they're stacking. That doesn't mean they're investing. It means that they've effectively plugged into the network without a third party in the middle, where they can have access that cannot be stopped to the Bitcoin blockchain transactions, and to watch and observe the network. There's a lot of reasons that you would actually want to use Bitcoin or proof of work, securing communications, basically anything that you want decentralized, no single point of failure. Bitcoin network can be used for other things besides making Bitcoin, and the United States government is admitting that. Pretty crazy. Another pretty crazy story I saw today. Damn, I keep forgetting. This is the one we want. That's good. Gotta skinny it a little. Oh, yeah. That's sized good right there. That's the spot. Morgan Stanley is positioning itself as the reserve manager for the stablecoin industry. I had to read this one 4 times to understand what they were saying. But basically, we all know that stablecoin issuers like Circle and theoretically USDT, unless you're like one of those people who thinks USDT isn't fully backed because you fell on your head too many times. But, USDC, USDT, as companies, they manage a treasury backing their assets one-to-one with cash and United States treasuries and hopefully not Chinese real estate paper, which is what people used to believe that Tether was backed by. Morgan Stanley is basically starting their own platform here, a stablecoin reserve portfolio that will manage that entire back end for a stablecoin issuer. Now, I'm not sure USDC or USDT are going to use this because they're probably pretty good at that. And I'm sure they don't want to give Morgan Stanley a few bips just to manage it. But for anyone else launching a stablecoin, especially institutions and such, and maybe even those, I have no idea, think about what they're saying here. Morgan Stanley is saying we will custody these, we will offer the deep liquidity, we will manage the treasury, what percentage is backed by treasuries and which treasuries, and we will handle redemptions and issuance of the token. This is the full, for better or for worse, Wall Streetization of the actual mechanics of creating and managing a stablecoin. I mean, hopefully they don't go like full Lehman Brothers with it and completely blow it and become a single point of failure for the stablecoin industry. But if you believe that Morgan Stanley is one of the trusted institutions in the world and that they are competent with custody and the management of treasury, this is going to make a hell of a lot more people comfortable, for better or for worse, with issuing stablecoins. Meanwhile, who's this guy? Paulo Arduino. Love this guy. USDT market cap grew $5 billion in less than 15 days. Mainstream media. Are those crickets? So funny. First time I read this tweet, I thought he was saying, it's cool, we're getting mainstream coverage of stablecoins. But he's actually saying the mainstream media is not talking about it. $5 billion in less than 15 days. I mean, just further, I think, example here that stablecoins are massively expanding. They're going to become even more popular with time. And it's probably going to be a problem for a lot of people that don't adopt stablecoins. I talked about this yesterday on the Daily Wolf pretty extensively, so I don't want to get into it more deeply. You should go back and watch that. But I broke down kind of the stablecoin story right now with the DoorDash news that they're going to pay their Dashers in stablecoins. The fact that the banks are pushing back against it, and now the fact that other countries are very skeptical and fearful of stablecoins because of hyperdollarization. Go back there. I don't want to be redundant. Well, this story is coming up really good. Let's refresh. Internet. Russia passes crypto bill in first reading, permits use in foreign trade settlements. This is interesting. So Russia has effectively said you can't use crypto domestically for payments, but you can use it for foreign economic activity. Same story. This is a story about attempts at de-dollarization. We've seen stablecoin, won-backed stablecoins being discussed and euro-backed stablecoins being discussed. A lot of countries, BRICS and otherwise, are really trying to become less dependent on the United States dollar. They do not want the hyper-dollarization that comes with stablecoins. They actually want de-dollarization and the ability to make foreign payments in other platforms other than the United States dollar, other currencies other than the United States dollar. What do you guys got over here? Yeah, see, you guys are just talking. You're over here just talking about Ben. Take it easy on Ben, man. Jesus, you guys are people are huge assholes. Yesterday on Market Mavericks, I probably shouldn't have said it in that crowd, but I was like, we had Ben Cowan, We had Mike McGlone, me, and Gareth. Mike has long been saying that people are calling him Mick Retard. I saw that Ben's been getting called a retard. Yesterday, I got called a retard. I'm just happy we can say retard. And I said to Gareth, hey, has anyone called you a retard today? Like, are we the Holy Trinity or the Holy Quadity? What's it called when you have a fourth person in Catholicism? A quupple? Quupple. I like quapples. Thruple is weird. Thruple's a thing, though, I've heard. But so a quupple, right? I mean, Ben's a nice guy, man. He's a nice guy. He called some things right. He called some things wrong. But, when everybody's calling everybody a retard, you know that we're in a healthy environment. I don't even know why. I just got called that because my eyes are too close together. So literally not even anything I said. It's just people don't like the way my face is. Whatever, Let's talk about prediction markets. They're stupid. Fuck. I think I was about to get a Kalshi or a Polymarket sponsorship. Blew it. I did not change. So some Loon Mambo's over here saying that I changed my Aura ring. First of all, I get in trouble for wearing this on camera. I take it off on the Daily Wolf because my wife thinks it makes me look more effeminate. It does. Like, why? I don't care about my sleep. I just wear it. But I've never worn it on my middle finger. It's just wrong. You can't see things. I took it off this finger and put it back on because I'm a fidget. Finger cuffs. Anyways, prediction markets. I'm here for it in theory for the purposes of hedging and actually getting important information about elections, because I do believe that when people have skin in the game, you're going to get much more accurate information about what's likely to happen in the future. But betting on the weather tomorrow with leverage is the dumbest thing I've literally ever heard. And especially when you know that everybody's insider trading. So obviously you saw the story yesterday. Do I have the picture? Did you guys see the picture I made on the Daily Wolf of Trump with the hairdryer? It was good. Can't find my pictures, man. I'm blowing it. Anyways, so you saw the story yesterday where there was a bet on the weather in France, the weather in Paris. And literally because a guy found out that the weather was being monitored at Charles de Gaulle Airport on one single little weather controller. He went out there with a blow dryer, and right before the contract expired, he set the temperature really, really high. He had a 1% odds bet that the temperature would be, and that dropped. He did it twice, made 25,000 euros. Now he's in trouble. You shouldn't be able to do that. I think that's pretty clear. We obviously know that there's been massive accusations of insiders. Well, finally somebody's getting in trouble, but this feels like a Fall Guy story, right? So everybody saw that there were these massive prediction market bets about Maduro being ousted right before it happened, when that was a very secret mission and nobody should have known. But U.S. soldier charged with using classified information to bet on Maduro's removal. I think he made $400,000 on this. Then went to the bar and he was like, hey guys, look what I did. Now jail. Don't do that. But there's some interesting takes on this, actually. So I think everybody should get in trouble for insider trading, obviously. But I don't know if people know that it's wrong to do that on prediction markets right now. I'm not I'm not absolving them of blame, but do people really know the rules? Is this you're not sitting in a Wall Street hedge fund and you know exactly what you are and are not allowed to do. I actually like this take to some degree. I'm not saying it shouldn't be pardoned necessarily, but maybe not a popular take, but I'm calling for this guy to be pardoned. That part I don't like, but this part I do like. Unless the DOJ plans on going after all the crooks in Congress currently insider trading, this is simply skewed justice. There's no justice when guys like this get the book thrown at them, yet members are illegally profiting every day. I don't agree with what he did, and he should be required to disgorge all the profits. However, unless the DOJ plans on doing Congress next, this is not justice. Welcome to America, Rep. Anna Paulina Luna. I don't know if you know this, but everything about the entire American system is fixed in the favor of you and your friends and rich people. Maybe white people. But I don't know. I've heard that. And, the entire financial system is obviously fixed towards a very small minority. But yeah, I agree with her. Insider trading is a huge problem. Nancy Pelosi is not that good. I'm sorry. She can't possibly be that good. And we know that insider trading exists everywhere, but this is going to be one of those situations where they're going to absolutely annihilate this guy to try to deter other people from doing it. Do you remember this? Similar but different. Do you remember Gary Gensler? Excellent. We all remember Gary Gensler. So Gary Gensler did this thing once where he was like, I have a problem with people promoting unregistered securities in crypto. And he like made a video about going after Kim Kardashian for Ethereum Max. So first of all, it was terrible that Kim Kardashian promoted Ethereum Max, but she divulged that. Like it was in the thing. It was like, I have been paid to promote this thing. And the problem apparently was that she didn't divulge exactly how much she'd been paid, but she said it was a paid advertisement, whatever. And they like made a whole video and like threw the book at her. She could afford the millions, fine, whatever. But to make an example so that no more celebrities would promote crypto. And by the way, that worked, right? So just kind of an interesting nuance. We have these examples of throwing the book at someone to make a huge example out of them. And it's unfortunate for this guy that it's going to be him. Meanwhile, on the CFTC side, I've been crystal clear. Anyone who engages in insider trading in any of our markets will face the full force of the law. Today, the CFTC took parallel action with SDNY News to charge an individual with insider trading involving event contracts. CFTC won't tolerate insider trading in our markets. Our Division of Enforcement will continue to vigilantly police our markets for any illegal actions. What's interesting there is, though, he says our markets, but there's still actually a lot of question marks as to whose markets these are. There's a turf war between the states and the federal government as to who regulates prediction markets and what they even are. Are prediction markets derivatives and commodities that would be covered by the CFTC, or is it just outright gambling, which is regulated by the states, right? We know that every single state has different gambling laws, what they allow. They all love the lottery, though, because that's not gambling. And we obviously saw Coinbase and Gemini charged by the United States AG the other day for running gambling, but that was prediction markets. So he's right. If the CFTC is actually proven to have jurisdiction, he might not be entirely right if this ends up being deemed gambling in state level. But either way, I think we all know that having insider trading on prediction markets is bad. We actually have a pretty fun take here from the President of the United States on this very topic. If you know, you know. A lot of accusations of insider trading around Trump Truth Social posts, right? Somebody funds a huge account, prediction markets or oil or otherwise, Trump truths, and then the market swings based on that truth. That person closes their trade, profit. Easy, right? So not provable, but a lot of smoke. Usually there's fire. But he was asked about this. Here's what he said.
That are being placed as well on the Iran conflict too, and there have been some trackings where people suspect that there's insider trading happening on these prediction markets around the war. Are you concerned?
Well, you know, the whole world, unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino. And you look at what's going on all over the world, in Europe and every place they're doing these betting things. I was never much in favor of it. I don't like it conceptually, but it is what it is.
Listen, he's right. The entire world has become a casino. And sadly, that's actually become a problem for crypto. And I will go on record as saying I was one of the first people. I even wrote an article on Twitter, which I never do. Like, you can write articles on there. Apparently that's a thing. And I did it once about how prediction markets and gambling in general and access to 24/7, 365 gambling had basically killed the crypto market and altcoins. Because it used to be that if you wanted to gamble 24/7, 365, you could just head on over to your favorite crypto exchange, buy some token, convince yourself that you love the fundamentals and the utility of it. But really, you were just buying something you thought that you might wake up tomorrow and it would be up 100x profit, right? And what I think was revealed when we saw the emperor had no clothes here for crypto is that most people, probably 99% plus, were simply using these tokens as units like casino chips for speculation. I think that's been proven now that it's died with the volumes you're seeing in prediction markets and how few people are buying any of these things because they don't have faith that they'll go up, and the casino basically is off the strip over in some corner and has less attractive hookers. Um, they're escorts. They're just escorts. They're just dating. So prediction markets have taken the shine off that, and now you even have tokenized or trading contracts on other assets like gold, silver, and oil, which makes it even worse for the altcoin casino. Because you could just go YOLO into an oil trade or YOLO into a gold or a silver trade with heavy leverage. And those things now swing like altcoins. Everything is risk on. So nobody needs to come to our casino anymore. They can just go to this casino. And Donald Trump is absolutely right. What I would like to hear in the next sentence is what that this is a symptom of. Because when everybody gambles on everything 24/7, 365, it's not a good thing. It's a sign that they are feeling desperate, that they know that they can't get ahead otherwise, that they know that this might be their only chance to get out of their mom's basement by hitting 100x YOLO on the weather in France if they get a blow dryer. It's not a sign of a healthy economy, regardless of what the stock market prices are. There was actually a tweet from the Kobe EC letter. I don't have it in front of me yesterday. I think it said that we're at the historic high of 70-plus-year-old stock holdings. I think it was like 17% of all stocks are owned by people over 70. Those people are supposed to be out of stocks already and holding bonds, right? If you have a actively managed portfolio historically, you go risk off with time. You can buy a mutual fund that does it based on your retirement date. You basically end up all in fixed income by the time you're 65 years old, right? But what was more notable, I think it was like sub 5%. It might have even been 3% of stocks are owned by people under 40 now, which has gone down by many, many multiples over the past few years and is a fraction of what it used to be. Meaning that all of the wealth in the United States stock market is people 40 and up, mostly people 40 to 70, but a disproportionate amount 70 and over, which means that if you're under 40, you don't own shit and you have no way to get ahead. It's just a fact, right? We know for a fact that people under 40 own less houses than they used to own. They certainly aren't buying gold. If they don't own stocks, what assets do they have to benefit from systemic inflation? None, right? And that explains why prediction markets are so popular. And that explains why prediction markets, or gambling specifically, not prediction markets, were so popular in the Weimar Republic and during COVID when nobody had a job and thought that their lives were over and were willing to YOLO into a GameStop bet with their friends at Wall Street bets. So I would say that it's very clear that the average person in the United States of these Americas and the rest of the world are probably hurting really, really bad. Now, meanwhile, on the, with Trump, you give him credit for one thing, then you flip to the other thing right here and you got, fuck this coin. What a, honestly, I don't even know what this article's about. I just saw the headline. Should have wrote it out though, pussies. Trump set to attend meme coin conference after 96% wipeout. Okay, so listen, every coin's down 96%. Maybe the one that the president was behind should have performed slightly better. But that was, fuck this coin was like a reaction that they found on Twitter. Like, people are losing on this coin. They're vocal. The people on Twitter are like, fuck this coin. It's a scam. And they're right, basically. I'm reading a Politico article. I am not saying these bad words. They're saying them with dashes because they're pussies. But yeah, we like, no shame here. They already had the meme coin conference. Justin's son, who's now suing World Liberty Financial, but really likes the president. If you read his tweets, you should watch my episode of the Daily Wolf about that. It was fun. I showed him with his $6.2 million banana in his mouth. So much heat around the first meme coin dinner. It was basically all foreign nationals. It was like the top whatever number people of holders of Trump token got to go. He had the number one seat. Well, they're running it back. Don't care at all. Gonna have a second conference. Come sit with the president. Tell him about your cat. I doubt that Trump is being influenced by anyone at this dinner, by the way. But either way, once again, kind of raises this endless ethical question about Trump's involvement in crypto. Now, I'm not a Bernie Sanders guy, but somebody did show me this tweet, so we're going to put it up here. The Trump family's made $4 billion off the presidency. Crypto, 3 billion. Persian Gulf deals, 400. Qatari. Then Don Jr. down there, 19.6. Like, does that mean the Trump family made $19.6 million off of Don Jr.? Is that like his OnlyFans account? I don't understand. Hanoi Hotel. I think I saw that movie. Yeah, I mean, Mar-a-Lago, 125 million. So listen, like, I think we all know that this is maybe the Trumps are just doing the thing every president or politician has done behind the scenes. They're just doing it really out in the open. I'm sure that all politicians have not profited from their position of power. But yeah, I mean, the Trumps have made a lot of money in crypto, and that's happened while all the things that they've made a lot of money in crypto on, everybody else has lost a lot of money on. It is what it is. You can judge it however you want, but those are the facts. That is all the topics that I have to rant about today. I'm going to take the best of those and others and compress them into a more cohesive theme for my noon show, which you should watch. I'm almost willing to say that if you don't watch my show at noon, you're not actually welcome here at 9. I don't know how we can track that. I'm sure Anthropic is already tracking it. But yeah, not welcome here. Just kidding. I love that you guys are here. I appreciate that you sit and listen to me rant. I really enjoy these Friday mornings because I do kind of just show up unhinged and talk about whatever's been on my mind this week, and there has been a lot. I feel blessed by the crypto gods, to be honest, that they've given us the news flow that we've had this week, because it is absolutely outrageous. Fact checker, are you? Oh, I thought I was being called 5 years old. Who's starting fights? Bernie is the best president the U.S. never had. That's a fact, not an opinion. Not sure you know what a fact is. Appreciate you being here, but that's a dumb comment, and your brain not working if you think that's a fact. Man. I like you, though. I've seen you in the comments. You're great. You're all great. Maybe I should just read some comments. What do we got over here? Ross Perot, that guy. I mean, did you just say did you just say an opinion is a fact? Bring me on, Scott. I literally just did for the stupid thing you said. We don't know what facts are anymore. Did you guys see? Okay, now here's one. I wrote there was a report that said that Ethereum's going to 250,000. I shouldn't. Okay. There's a report that said Ethereum's going to $250,000. And the premise was that it's going to eat the monetary premium of both gold and Bitcoin. And if you take the market cap of Ethereum up to where Bitcoin and gold are collectively, because that's naturally going to happen, you get $250,000 in Ethereum. I wrote a newsletter about it saying the math is not mathing. And then Ryan Adams from Bankless very respectfully said, this could happen. Like, take a look at the argument. It makes sense based on the principle. Okay. But like, how can you even start a conversation with if it takes all the money out of Bitcoin and gold as a rational place for the start of an argument, much like Bernie Sanders is the best president we ever had. Fact. I mean, is that different than me saying, if I just gain 70 pounds, 10 times the athletic ability, and become 30 years younger, I'm Tom Brady in his prime? I guess 20 years younger. Fact. And they were like, you should keep your mind open to it. It could happen. No, it's dumb. It's a stupid argument. Just because you say things doesn't mean that they're facts or that they're smart or that people aren't allowed to call you retarded. Like, Ethereum could go to $250,000 one day, but it won't be because gold and Bitcoin disappear and Ethereum has become the new gold and Bitcoin. And I really like Ethereum, but I'm really tired of all the stupid. And there's so much stupid right now. And before I say anything else stupid, I'm out of here. Love you guys. See you soon. Bernie Sanders, best president we never had.
Let's go. That's dope.